I think our voice is going to be heard. Our voice is going to be heard. More and more people are seeing our side. And hey, it's just unity. We love everybody. We're not against anybody. We want no harm to anyone. We just want to get our voices heard.
Unity, peace, love.
Today, we just want to spread peace and love.
Just here to support equal rights for everyone. It's just important.
You had someone inbox you claiming that you were a white supremacist for participating in this movement.
Yeah, when my background is Persian, I'm from Iran.
Now, there were counter-protesters. Some of their things that they were opposing were blocking hospitals today and white supremacy. What's your response on the counter-protesters?
My response to that is, hey, I'm First Nation lady. I am standing up with people of all ethnic backgrounds, and we are standing united today across this country.
They don't understand that we're here to also is standing up for their right as well.
Well, it's been quite the day following the Vancouver Freedom Convoy. Despite odds of counter-protesters, in some case violent, as you'll see a flash of later in this report, they have made it to their location downtown. You can see here behind me a car that says fired healthcare worker and freedom. Lots of Canadian flags. You're not going to want to miss this report or any of the factual reports from reporters with their boots on the ground at the convoys that took place across Canada on February 5th. So to find those reports, please check out convoyreports.com. You'll get regular updates there, full reports. And if you'd like to donate to contribute to our independent journalism, we get down to tell you the other side of the story, and we don't get a penny from the federal government's media bailout. You can support our journalism and the cost to be out here and bring you this story at convoyreports.com.
No, we support hospital workers, we support the doctors. We're just against vaccine passports and mandates. We want freedom for our grandchildren.
Are you guys white supremacists?
No, that's silly.
We love everyone, and we love Jesus too. That's the key, right there.
Amen. What brings you here today?
Because we are not for mandates, and we support the truckers. Yes.
Do you support healthcare workers too? Because
yes, of course. I think we have our rights to speak, and like the Trudeau government wants to silence us. So no to mandates.
The vaccines are killing
Now or never.
Well, it's a convoy in support of the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa. It is all about freedom of choice, drop the mandates. It's about having the liberty to do what you want to do, not having to lose your job over making a choice that you should have anyway, bodily autonomy. lot of truckers. One of my friends, Daniel, over there, and a lot of people I know have lost their jobs, lost their homes, lost their businesses because of a mandate which clearly violates our charter rights and clearly violates our human rights.
Unity, peace, love.
Today, and we just want to spread peace and love. We are not racist. We love everyone. Unity. It's our choice.
Great work, guys. We love
Natural unity. We love you. Thank you.
Love you too.
Thank you. Bye.
So wait, you had someone inbox you claiming that you were a white supremacist for participating in this movement.
When my background is Persian, I'm from Iran.
So do you think that this is like common? There's just a lot of misinformation about what this movement's about, and
There is a lot of misinformation. There's different races that are a part of this movement. It's not a white nationalist movement.
We're tired of being locked down. Our son's in school, he wears a mask 8 hours a day. You know, people are losing their jobs. It's too much.
so where do you guys see this ending?
No more mandates, no more lockdowns, no more restrictions.
We got an equal rights for vaccinated and unvaccinated sign and this flag. Now, you don't want to show your face, you're a little uncomfortable, but why was it important for you to be here today?
Just here to support equal rights for everyone. It's just important.
You'd think that would be the Canadian way, but not so much. What do you think about Trudeau's statement that said, among a slew of other trigger words, that the movement is transphobic and homophobic in Ottawa, at least?
No comment there, but yeah, it's love only here. I'm just here to support love and unity for all.
And have you come across seen any examples of hate here today from the freedom protesters?
No.
Thank you.
Well, it's time to go back to work. No more mandates, no more shutting down companies and businesses. People are losing jobs. It's not good. It's not healthy for families.
What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding that the public has about this group?
I don't know. Like, you hear so many different stories. We're all Canadians. We all love one another. We're just standing here making sure that we do the right thing. We're not falling like sheep. We want to make sure the government understands that it's important that we are working so that the government can make money from our taxes, because they're spending a lot of money. We got to keep going. We got to keep moving forward. And the worst thing is right now the inflation is off the charts, and we can't bring goods across the border because we're already shortage of trucks. Trucking is important.
So how do you think this ends, Barry?
I think our voice is going to be heard. Our voice is going to be heard. More and more people are seeing our side, and hey, it's just unity. We love everybody. We're not against anybody. We want no harm to anyone. We just want to get our voices heard.
I expect a peaceful convoy. The word's been passed around in the hospital zones. Lay off the horns. Silence going through the hospital zones. We are expecting there to be some counter protests, but they're going to be met with nothing but love, politeness, civility, and calmness. This is a peaceful convoy, peaceful protest and support.
Now, there was counter-protesters today. They were counter-protesting that this protest was going to clog the hospitals, and it's about white supremacy. What do you have to say to those two things?
Well, when I was driving down here, I saw about 12 or 15 bicycles. When I got further down the road, there was less bicycles.
I think they're missing the point. The protesters, they don't understand that we're here to also is standing up for their right as well. So, and we totally, we have no problem with them coming out and do so-called counter-protest, because it is a free country and everyone should have to be able to express their view. So as long as they remain peaceful, I think it is, no matter what they think the cause is, I think this is what it's all about. We, in Canada, we should have the right to have our own views, to freely express our own views.
The biggest misunderstanding I think about this movement is people think that it's anti-vax. It's not. A vast majority of number of people here are vaxxed. It's not about vaxxed or unvaxxed. It's about the right to choose whether you want to be without being threatened or coerced with losing your job, your livelihood, or your business.
I believe our government is using the hospitals as a firewall And one day I noticed Trudeau goes against the healthcare workers like our truckers, and then one day he'll go back to loving them. He seems to flip-flop.
I'm seeing that in Canada right now, the media is very much pushing a government narrative. And there's very little media like Rebel News, like, your platform, that is presenting both sides of the story. So we're seeing most of the mainstream media is actually doing propaganda for the government, and that is something that happens, only in countries that don't have a freedom of press.
Now, are you a white supremacist?
Well, I got the best of both worlds. My mother is Jewish, very, very dark skinned, and my father is an Englishman. So I don't know, in my opinion, I got the best of both worlds, and to see two different cultures, I consider myself to be one of the luckiest persons in the world, and especially to live in a country such as Canada.
Thank you so much.
Rebel, you're the greatest, and Andrea, I can't believe I met you. You are my star, and I'm waiting one day when the CBC opens up, you'll be at the front desk.
Oh no, I'm sticking with Rebel. Now, if you were wondering why I was asking some of those questions, that's because the counter-protesters who tried to prevent the truckers from getting here to Vancouver for some reason were under the impression that this protest was to go block hospitals and also about white supremacy. Hi, how are you guys? Good. So you gotta protect healthcare. What's that sign about?
Just protecting healthcare workers.
Okay. Yeah. Are they at risk right now, or?
Yes.
From
everyone who comes in and demands expectations higher than their vaccine status.
Now, we have a full report so you can see what happened there, because there was some violence from the counter-protesters. But you can see a sea of freedom protesters here on their way down. This isn't even where the protest is taking place. It's outside of CTV. And it's got a freedom sort of festival vibe, completely different than the narrative we've been seeing by our Prime Minister, politicians, and that goes for Vancouver's mayor as well. Here's his statement. It says, this weekend we are expecting to see anti-COVID mandate protests making their way across the Lower Mainland, ending in downtown Vancouver. As the city's mayor, with over 95% of vaccination rate, my message to the convoy is this: Vancouver doesn't want you here. Make your point, then go home. This is the same mayor that when the government put in a mandate that fired thousands of healthcare workers who stood at the front lines while we stayed home and stayed safe and went and helped people, and they lost their job. They hosted a peaceful protest that did not block hospital entrances, and this is what the mayor had to say about them.
When I see these idiots out protesting, I just, they should just stay the hell home. Like, just stop this. And to really have the nerve to hold protests outside of hospitals, it just blows my mind. And these folks are just a bunch of jerks that just need to go away.
So it's really no surprise that when politicians say things like that with a straight face, you see the type of violence that we saw from the counter-protesters earlier today. All right, it looks like they are starting to set up behind me for some speeches. It's right in front of Bell Media. CTV owns this building here. This is where they do their productions, and a lot of these pro-freedom protesters are not impressed with their coverage. You tell me why in the comments. Marcella with Stand United, one of the organizers today, and you guys wanted to have this protest in front of CTV. Why?
Well, we're holding the media to account. They have a lot of journalistic integrities and standards that they are supposed to abide by, and we find that they are not. They are supposed to be unbiased. They're supposed to present facts. They're supposed to talk to all sides of the story, and we're not getting that. We find that we get the government's one-sided narrative, and when they do talk to people of an opposing opinion, they always twist it right back to what they want their narrative to be.
What do you think about the mayor putting out a statement and saying, Vancouver doesn't want you people here?
You know what? He's entitled to his opinion, and we are entitled to be on the city streets. This city belongs to the people. This is public property. We have every right to be here. We have every right in this country to stand up for our freedoms and our rights and to congregate and speak out, and that's what we're here for.
Now, there were counter-protesters. I'm not sure exactly why. The freedom movement in Vancouver, the Lower Mainland, has been peaceful for almost 2 years. Some of their things that they were opposing were blocking hospitals today and white supremacy. What's your response on the counter-protest?
My response to that is, hey, I'm First Nation lady. I am standing up with people of all ethnic backgrounds, and we are standing united today across this country. And you know what? All these counter-protesters, they're really not doing anything beneficial. We've heard that they wanted to egg the trucks. That's vandalism. We heard they wanted to lay down nails. That's vandalism. That's actually a potential to cause dangerous accidents, flat tires. How is that helping? It is not. They're doing measures that are not productive to what we have got going on today. We are freedom-loving, peaceful-loving people. We are excited and we're happy. This feels like a victory parade today. This is exciting.
Well, you saw it here. We got our boots on the ground. We gave you the coverage of what's happened. We showed you the opposition and what they had to say, and we showed you what the pro-freedom protesters had to say today as well. I'm Drea Humphrey, and this is Rebel News.